I'm Tracy Townsend. We are starting 10 TV News at noon today with breaking news. The Ohio State President Ted Carter has resigned from his position, effective immediately. The university reports Carter disclosed an inappropriate relationship to the Board of Trustees regarding someone seeking public resources to support her personal business. We thank you for joining us. We're going to guide you through this developing story this noon hour. We've been working for the past 2 hours to look back on Carter's career and what he has said in interviews with 10 TV News. To understand this more, last month, for instance, he and 10 TV station Akin had a conversation about resilience in relation to students at the university. Here are his.
The most important part about resilience is being able to admit that we as humans are going to have failures. And we're going to have a lot of them. Some of them will be small, some of them will be big. How you respond to that failure, and it's really about the learning from the mistake so that you don't either continue to repeat it or it becomes a bigger mistake. That's what that's all about.
And again, we have team coverage this afternoon from a reaction on campus to the reputation of the university and Ted Carter Jr. Our team is live on OSU's campus with this story. We want to get out to 10 TV's Kevin Landers first. Kevin, you read the letters from the board and from Carter. You're outside of the president's office. What else can you tell us about these allegations?
Yeah, behind me is the president's former office here on East 5th Avenue. It's 15th Avenue. His office was on the 5th floor of this building here. And what we're learning is that based on this letter that I'm holding here, this is the March 7th letter. This is Saturday. This is when the OSU Board of Trustees held their executive meeting. At the time, we didn't know what it was about. Now we're getting a clear understanding. It was because of the Ted Carter's resignation. And it says here, I please accept this official notice of my resignation as president of the Ohio State University effective March 7th. I am grateful for my time at Ohio State and appreciate the board's understanding. No mention of that mistake. Now, here's what the university said. The president recently disclosed to trustees that he had an inappropriate relationship with someone seeking public resources to support her personal business and offered to resign. Ohio State University also shared that Ted Carter issued the following statement: for personal reasons, I have made the difficult decision to resign from my role as president of Ohio State University. I disclosed to the Board of Trustees that I made a mistake in allowing inappropriate access to Ohio State leadership. Now, what that means, it's still unclear. Ohio State has yet to clarify that. We've reached out to Ohio State to try to provide more information as to what that mistake was and what it entailed and who the person was that the university former president had this relationship with. We're still digging into that. Ted Carter is the 17th president of Ohio State. They will now search for its 18th president, and we'll be following that process ahead at 5 o'clock. Reporting live on the campus of Ohio State, Kevin Landers. Back to you, Tracy.
All right, Kevin, thank you so much for that. We do have team coverage. Doug Petcash is also on campus now. And Doug, you've been talking with students and faculty. Tell us about the reaction you're hearing.
Well, Tracy, right here at the Oval, students are going about their day. You can see a lot of students just walking to and from class. The ones we've talked to said that the decision does not affect their day-to-day business, is what they have to do. But the words I'm hearing from them are shock and surprise at the resignation, and also some concern about where Ohio State goes from here. I talked to a couple freshmen a little bit earlier. They gave perspective about how they got the news and then their response, a reaction to it. Here it is.
It's like the second president in a row that is like resigned earlier. Like both presidents only last for 2 years, so I'm a bit like concerned about the future of like the president and like the what's that, consecutive board, like their decision. And
do you worry about like the stability of the university, you mean?
I think like it wouldn't affect our daily life a lot, but like it's maybe more like a long-term like what's that, effect.
Yeah, that was one of the sentiments that we did hear quite often, was it doesn't affect their day-to-day, but where does the university go from here? I also talked to one woman who is a contractor here at the university, and she just said that she was surprised. She felt that Ted Carter was a stand-up guy, and now she worries about how much the search process for the next president is going to cost, and she said as a taxpayer, that annoys her. Talked to several other students today. We're going to hear more from them coming up a little bit later on our newscast at 4, 5, and 6. But for now, live at the Oval at The Ohio State University, I'm Doug Petcash. Back to you, Tracy.
Hey, Doug, before you go, this is the second president in just 2 years, and I think you're sort of alluding to that. Can you tell us any more about some of the bigger concerns you're hearing from students and staff?
Yeah, as one of them is that cost, but it's also kind of the consistency or the transition. You know, what's it going to mean? Who's going to step in the meantime? How long is the search going to take and cost? And, you know, some people said that they really liked Ted Carter's leadership style and they felt that he was doing a good job. But now he's gone just so quickly and that search continues. So those are the concerns they have. But as far as students and their day-to-day lives and going to class, it's just business as usual for them, Tracy.
All right, Doug Petcash, right there on the Oval at The Ohio State University. Thank you so much. Now, just a bit of background on Walter Ted Carter, who again was the 17th president of The Ohio State University. He took office in January of 2024. Carter is a retired U.S. Navy Vice Admiral and former Naval Academy Superintendent. Before Ohio State, he was the president of the University of Nebraska system. Now, you might remember Ted Carter replaced Christina M. Johnson as the 17th president of The Ohio State University. Johnson stepped down from the role in May of 2023, and Carter officially took office on January 1st, 2024, after a national search. And of course, OSU is a huge part of our Central Ohio community, and 10 TV has interviewed President Carter numerous times. We spoke with him in August of last year about growth and development at OSU. At the time, he said he was shifting his focus from physical growth on campus to a growing impact in Ohio and across the country.
So I think about growth for Ohio State. It's more as growth of impact, growth in the type of excellence that we're doing in academics and research and clinical care. So that's the type of thing I think of in growth. It's growth in what we're doing and making a difference in the lives of Ohioans, what we're doing in preparing our students to go into the workforce and to be great citizens of the state of Ohio and for the United States.
And the former president has also called Ohio State an essential part of the state, saying the university generates more than $12 billion in revenue. As you can imagine, this is a breaking story. You'll want to stick with us throughout the day. We'll continue to update you both online and right here on air as we learn more about Carter's history, this incident, and what's ahead at Bricker Hall. We'll also be covering this on 10 TV Plus.